Okay, so this is the case of the Delphi Murders. Little Libby and Abby were murdered in Delphi, Indiana in 2017. The killer still has not been found. Now, this case has really bugged me. One, there are two little girls. The one was 14, the other one was 13. But here's the hanger. The police would not say how they were murdered. But what they did release is right before their murder, Abby took out her phone, started recording on Snapchat of this man up there on the railroad walking towards them. Then a few minutes go by and you hear the man tell the girls down the hill. Guys down the hill. That's all you can hear. That's all the evidence that the police has given. The police are saying they haven't given evidence because there's certain things only the killer would know, and that's how they plan on catching him somehow. I think that's a dumb idea. I think they should release what happened to the girls, so maybe the person that does know the killer would definitely speak up, because we're going to enter the crime scene right now. So in real life, this bridge was actually way higher than what it looks on this video. Way higher. And this bridge is actually in horrible condition. And it is a long way. See, if you look down the bridge, it's really far. And these girls did it. You know, they walked. They must have some guts, because at 14, 13, I mean, I damn sure wouldn't have done it. Now, I would, I'm terrified of heights, though. Now, during the walk on the bridge, Abby did take some photos, and Libby, they were taking photos. Up here was the last photo taken. It looks like that one of the younger, I believe it was Abby, was standing on this ledge right there, taking a picture of Libby walking towards her. Then they get probably to the end of the bridge, is how we expect, just like this. They saw a man walking towards them. She takes out her phone and started recording him on Snapchat. Now, on the video, I will be posting it on this video, you can see the man walking towards them, and he's walking on this bridge. Now, this bridge is in horrible condition. This man has his hands in his pockets while he's walking. This is kind of what the man looked like. He had his hands in his pockets and walking like he's walked this bridge 100 times. Now, here's the thing. Delphi is a very small place. Very small place. And this guy has not been found. Now, how did he know to be out in the middle of nowhere? Because this is a hiking trail, don't get me wrong, but it's still out in the middle of nowhere, to take two little girls and murder them. Their bodies were found. The story goes that the girls were dropped off early in the day, and one of the girls, I think it was grandfather, went to pick them up. He was supposed to pick them up at 3 o'clock, and he was calling their phones. Nothing at all, no response. Finally 5 o'clock comes. He alerts, they finally alert other family members, and they alert the police. Of course, like the police say, there's nothing to worry about. Just like every cop, when people go missing, it seems like everyone panics, but not the cops at first. But look at this bridge right here. Look at this. I mean, it's just holes all over the place. I mean, you gotta be gutsy to walk this thing, So the girls make it across, and then this gentleman approaches them. Now, we don't know right when they get to the end if he comes up on them really fast. See, I was thinking that the young one, I think that's Abby. I think she was probably closer to the edge, and then he caught up to him and then grabbed her and then had control, and then told this one, if you run, scream, do anything. I think he grabbed Libby and told Abby, if you run or scream or anything, I'm gonna kill her. Just like right here, it looks like she's trying to protect her friend. Her friend's, of course, is very scared. Or it could have been the other way around. But this girl right here is a brave girl. She knew that the man was up to something. He was definitely creeping him out, to where she pulled out her phone and started recording him. All on the recorder, all that we hear is guys down the hill. That's all we hear on the recording. There could be more of the recording that the police just haven't released. There could be more video that the police just for some reason hasn't released. We don't know. I highly doubt there is. I think they would release it more so more people can hear the voice and recognize it. But this guy looked pretty stocky. He looked heavyweight. He definitely has to know the area. Delphi is a small place. He could have been a truck driver coming by. Now, I was watching these guys that investigate, but they speak to like spirits and ghosts and stuff like that. And it did seem pretty convincing, because in one of the ghosts apparently was saying to the guys when they were speaking to the spirit, said, you know, what does the guy look like? And the spirit said, Snapchat. And that is actually what Abby was recording the man on, was on Snapchat. And the photos that she was taking earlier that day with Libby were on Snapchat. So that did convince me. You know, I'm not real big into ghosts and stuff like that, but it did kind of convince me when it said that. And you know, every time it said, did someone murder you, the spirit would say back, yes. But the ghost said 10 different times a name, Steve. You know, but it also said that, you know, one time they said, were you stabbed? The spirit said yes. And then the spirit also said choke. So it was really convincing. I'll put the link in the video below, because it did convince me. And I'm not real big on, you know, being convinced by talking to spirits and stuff like that. But this one really got to me. It did convince me. This is a horrible story. You know, it's been so long, you know, since this happened. And I can't believe that this guy has gotten away with it for so long. I mean, now there is an update on this case. It wasn't specifically for this case, but it seems like the police are investigating. So there was a man named Chadwell. Babe, do you remember the guy's name? Chadwell. I can't think of the guy's name. That has recently been arrested for kidnapping his neighbor, having her trapped in his basement, tied up, strangling her, and stuff like that. And he's only 20 miles out of Delphi. And they believe that he has done this before. So, and if you look at the sketches, it does look pretty similar. So let's hope that it is him. But this guy is, definitely a creep. I mean, you to take two little girls who were just hiking, and nowadays kids don't ever play outside. They don't go outside. They don't do any of that. All kids do nowadays is play on, computers and video games. And I always encourage that kids should be outside and playing. And that's what these two girls were doing. And they lost their lives. And I can't even imagine how scared they were. They were out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, look at this. Now, when the guy said down the hill, their bodies were found down in that area somewhere. It was farther down a little bit, but that's where they believe when the guy said down the hill to them, they were thinking this hill or maybe a little ways down, on the trail. I'm assuming that he tried to get them off this trail as soon as possible before anyone saw. But he had to have known nobody was around so to hear anyone scream or anything like that. So he definitely had to know the area. If he didn't live there, he definitely lived close by. That's why I think the guy that is under investigation right now in Indiana, it's a good chance that it could be him. The guy only lived 20 miles out, and he has a fucked up history. So all we can do is hope that it's him. It's definitely a very, very sad story. But this is it. You know, I mean, now, like I said, in real life, I know this video isn't, you know, as realistic as we want it to be, but look at the gaps in here. Now, I mean, that's pretty close to the real thing. I mean, that is, you know, I mean, you're high, so it's a lot higher than this in real life. You know, it's a lot higher. And the guy was walking with his hands in his pockets, like he's done this 100 times, you know. The girls, when they were walking, it looked like they were, you know, very scared. But, you know, they had confidence that they make it, and they did. But, you know, it's a sad thing. And this is the ledge that Abby went on to take a photo of Libby, you know. So, you know, that's where it ended. It's a horrible tragedy. And I hope this guy burns in fucking hell. I hope he fucking gets fucked. I hope they... This just gets me really emotional. I mean, these two girls were innocent, playing outside. In this picture of them alone, you know, where she's trying to protect her friend. And this guy, this son of a bitch, God knows what he did. Now here's what I don't understand. It's been years since this happened. And best believe this guy somebody knows who this guy is. They recognize the voice. They recognize the size. I mean, something. Somebody definitely knows. I mean, how he acted after the murders. I mean, somebody out there knows something. Now, it sucks when it's something like this because the police get so many tips. They get thousands of tips, probably every day, every week. And here they can't even act on all of them. And, you know, maybe one of them or even a few of them were right. You know? I wish I can go back in time and be in this fucking position right now and push you off this fucking thing. I'm going to be doing a podcast about this story. I know I only do Vegas disappearances, but this story has bothered me for so long. These little girls, their last moments was in complete horror. They were scared. There was no way they can get help. They were tortured. And that's fucking a shame. And I hope that, and she was so brave. This little girl, there's her phone where she recorded him walking towards her. And I'll show you the link where it shows this guy, this son of a bitch. He had to have started walking. There's a photo where Abby took of Libby where it shows a long way down. So I don't know if that was the front or where they were just started or were they almost at the end. If they were almost at the end, which I believe they were, then yeah, I believe they were at the end. If they were almost on the end in that photo, then this guy started walking like he had to have walked this thing a million times because he caught up to him pretty quick. So he definitely knows the area. And I mean, this is just horror. Now was he following them? Was he, you know, did he knew they were out there? Were they happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person around? I mean, if this is a hiking trail where people hike all the time, you know, how did, you know, he know? I mean, was he out there fishing, looking for anybody and just found them? I mean, if it wasn't them, would it have been someone else? I mean, we just don't know until hopefully one day they catch this son of a bitch. I hope they do. You know what's sad is I don't even know. I never met those girls or their families, and this just makes me cry. So fucking bad. This is so fucking sad. You know, I have a little girl. Their families are strong. 13, 14. They're outside playing. Turn into this. This case has bothered me for many years. The live recording that Abby did on her Snapchat. I know I only do disappearances out of Vegas before her murder, but this murder scene, this crime, has just really got to me for a long time. This is a photo of the gentleman that the police are currently have in custody for a different crime. This is the only name I can know that his name is so far is Chadwick. I can't remember if that's his first or last name. You can find it online. He's currently in custody right now for kidnapping his next door neighbor. I believe she was 9 years old, or she was 13. I'm sorry. He lured her in by petting his dog. She was petting his dog. He got her in the house. And the police, after she was reported missing, the police go to his door. They were going all through the neighborhood. They asked to search his house. They found her downstairs in his basement. She was tied up and nude and marks on around her neck like she was been strangled. So he could have been in the middle of killing her when the police arrived. They've had many suspects about this case, but right now they're investigating this man, thinking that he was involved and that he could be the one on the bridge that murdered the two girls. These two girls were young and innocent, out and enjoying the life, a young life, and they had a full life ahead of them. And everything that I've researched, these girls were stars to be born. They were rising stars. They were very happy girls, very charming, very respectful, very bright. And their life was taken from them for no fucking reason. No reason at all. Abby and Libby are two young girls that lost their lives in 2017 for just being young, being outside to play. And it's a fucking shame. If you listen on the audio, the guy says, "Guys, down the hill." That is the only thing the police have released. Him walking on the bridge and that audio. I don't know if that's all they have. I'm assuming that's all they have. So I don't know if when Abby was recording him, if she got a little worried that he could see that he was being recorded and she got freaked out by it and stopped the recording, or maybe there is more footage that the police haven't released yet, which I don't know why they want it. But it's been a sad story for a long time. And I hope they catch this motherfucker. I hope he burns in hell with every fucking, I hope when they catch him, they torture the shit out of him. They give him the death sentence torturous way. This son of a bitch. Forgive me for saying this. I know I shouldn't, but I have a little girl. I couldn't even fucking imagine. This bridge, in real, as you can see, is really, really sketchy bridge. I mean, I wouldn't even attempt to walk it. And if you see how he walks, he's got his hands in his pocket like he walked it 100 times. He doesn't seem nervous about being high up, so you know he's not afraid of heights, or he just has his mind too focused on those two girls that, you know, he's just trying to get to them. But I would guess he definitely walked this bridge before. Not one, not two, but many times. I would say he's done it quite a few times, because he walked it with hands in the pockets, and he had to have been going at a high speed to catch up to him. It looked like he was just walking and trying to get to him. Maybe the girls saw him earlier in the day. You know, they kind of got freaked out, but maybe he didn't approach him or anything. They just saw him out there in the woods, and they kept going, doing their thing. And then when they cross the bridge and they see him walking towards them, that's when Abby knew there was something wrong. She knew something was up. That's why she pulled out her phone and started recording him. She knew she was on alert. And, you know, so was Libby, I'm assuming, at this time. You okay? They had to have, I'm assuming, seen him beforehand. And maybe he said something to him that creeped him out and just kept walking, or what. But I would say that they saw him beforehand. They saw him probably out in the woods or something. They took off across the bridge, you know, a little freaked out. I'm guessing they saw him. I could be wrong, because if you notice on the picture of Libby on the bridge, they seemed like there was nothing bothering him at all. It's when they got to the end of the bridge and they see him walking is when they got really scared. And then that's all we know. I'm going to be doing another podcast next weekend about this. So we will have better audio, better video. If you subscribe to my channel at Bad Habits Kingdom, we'll be doing another podcast about this. We'll be going into more details, you know, stuff like that. I do apologize, you know, for the quality right now. My computer is actually getting viruses taken out and everything. I have my computer cleaned every couple of weeks, just so there's no viruses or anything, and that's why we're doing this kind of recording and this kind of podcast. So next Saturday, definitely tune in, because we're going to be going over some stuff. Just let's pray that they find this fucker. Let's pray that they get justice. These two girls deserve justice. I can't believe that he hasn't been caught yet, to be honest. I can't believe that the cops won't turn in more information about it. You know, it's a real shame. So, that's all I can think of right now. Check it out. You know, definitely tune into it. This is the footage, you know, the recording of what I have so far. I will have much more next week. So tune in May 15th, and we'll get more into it. Bad Habits Kingdom. Okay? May 15th, noon, Pacific time. Okay? I will be going live on that video, so tune in with me, and let's see if we can all put our heads together and work together on finding this son of a bitch, if the one that's in custody right now isn't him. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. I hope everyone stays safe and have a great day. Bye. This is actually the live recording that Abby did on her Snapchat moments before her murder.